It is just me for co-chair this morning. Aaron, I was just talking about Aaron. Amie is not able to join us. So we will get started. Good morning. My name is Lissa. I am the co-chair of the Clean Pittsburgh Commission. My pronouns are she, her, and I live on the north side. I will popcorn to Helena.
Hello, I am Helena Procopio-Ross. I'm the Environmental Enforcement Specialist for the City of Pittsburgh. I do all the recycling outreach and education for the city and also coordinate special events for their recycling plans. And yeah, happy to be here. I live in Brookline and I shall pop it over to Katie. Hello.
Good morning, I'm Katie Weddick. I'm the Senior Right-of-Way Manager with the City of Pittsburgh Department of Mobility and Infrastructure. So I oversee all of our permitting and inspections in the right-of-way, and I live in Bloomfield. And I will popcorn it to Emily.
Good morning. I'm Emily Embry. I am the Safer Together coordinator for Police Zone 5 neighborhoods. I live in Garfield, and I will popcorn to Larson.
Hi, I'm Larson Scheller. I'm the Recycling Operations Coordinator with the Pennsylvania Resources Council, and the co-treasurer with the Clean Pittsburgh Commission, and I live in Bloomfield. I will popcorn it over to Anna Bagwell.
Good morning, I'm Anna. I'm the Environmental Enforcement Coordinator for the City of Pittsburgh. I live in Lawrenceville, and I will pass it over to Paul.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Paul Scott. I'm the acting senior manager of neighborhood services with the city of Pittsburgh, and I live in Garfield. I will popcorn it over to Aaron.
Good morning, everybody. Erin Tobin with the Pittsburgh Parks Conservancy. My pronouns are she, her. I live in Spring Hill on the north side. And I will popcorn it over to Debbie. Did you go, Debbie?
Not yet. Good morning. Debbie Steinberg. I am, what am I? I'm the sustainability manager with Carnegie Mellon University, use she, her pronouns, and I live in Squirrel Hill. And I will popcorn to Crystal. Oh my God, yeah.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Crystal Witt. I use she, her pronouns. I'm comfortable with they, them also. I am the community engagement coordinator with River Life, and I live in Sheridan, proudly. And I will popcorn over to, oh, let's see, I wasn't paying close attention. Has Alex Fisher gone?
Alex is actually with the City Channel. So I
Okay, so they're
think
just
you're
sort of.
actually the last person, it looks like. Yeah, everyone else should have gone, it looks, so we can. Perfect. Thank you all for joining us. I will start with going over the minutes for May, which everyone should have gotten. Give me 1 second while I pull those up. Sorry, I have too much open on my screen. Can you all see that? Cool. Perfect. Okay, so those are our May meeting minutes. Does anyone have any corrections that they would like to present? Nope. Okay. If there are no corrections to the minutes, can I get a motion to approve the May meeting minutes?
I motion to approve.
That
I
can
motion to second.
perfect. All approve?
Aye.
I
Thank you all. Any
I
opposed?
I just need to abstain because I wasn't there.
Perfect. Cool. So we have Katie abstaining. Anyone opposing? Awesome. Thank you all. Then I have our June minutes, which are gonna need to, or not minutes, apologies. Their June agenda, which there are corrections that will need to be changes that have happened. So unfortunately, council person Bob Charland is not able to make it to our meeting today. So we do not have a guest speaker. So our meeting might be a little bit shorter than normal. And then I will just fill in for Amie's points that she would typically talk about. Other than that, everything else should be the same. Is there anything that should be added to the meeting, especially now that we have a little extra time? Okay, so we will just jump right in then. Let me get back to my notes. Second. Cool. So since we don't have a guest speaker, I'll just kind of jump past that and go to member reauthorization updates. The other day, about a week or so ago, we got an update that council is in the process of updating the requirements for approval to city committees. They've been doing that for the past month and a half, we were told. So at this point, all new and re-upping approvals are put on hold. So that means Aaron, Ben DeVore, and Crystal. I'm not sure if you guys have put in your application. Okay. So all of that is going to be on hold. We didn't get any timeline of when that is going to change or when they'll be doing that again. So unfortunately, we're just kind of sitting in limbo. Speaking of that, Ben DeVore, I believe he got the email. He did not get our email to come in. I apologize. Sorry, I am meant to send that to him. So yeah, so that'll be on hold for now. We'll definitely keep you all posted if we hear anything different. Larson, in case Afton is able to join us a little bit later, do you want to push the financial committee section to the end? Or would you like to speak on behalf of that? We do have enough members to vote today.
Yeah, that's fine with me. Due in part because whenever we had the working meeting on Tuesday, we were on a train to Harrisburg and I didn't have the connection to actually like see all what was going. I get that I know like in
Okay.
general what we're going to present, but I'm fine to push it till now. And then if Afton still doesn't show up, I can present it.
Cool, cool. And I can help too, help with speaking on that. Cool. So we will skip financial committee. I'll just go down to the neighborhood of focus. So since our last May meeting, I've had the opportunity to speak with two neighborhood groups in 2 out of the 4 of our neighborhoods of focus. Aaron Tobin was able to put a meeting together with Urban Trails from Marshall Shadeland, and I had a meeting with someone from the Sheridan Community Council. Both groups were great. We had really good talks, and they were able to give feedback on and provide like long-term and short-term ideas that they think would be great to address our quality of life concerns in their neighborhoods. Um, I'm going to continue to try and maybe meet with some of the other neighborhoods, but I feel comfortable moving forward with some of our neighborhood of focus ideas and plans, which we'll do after we vote today on some of those things. One additional idea that came out of those meetings was to increase education and resources around trash and recycling. Um, Someone made a really good point that a lot of folks don't access the website and social media as much as others. So a lot of that information, when it comes to what to put out and how to put things out on trash day and where recycling goes and alternatives, they're not getting that information from websites and social media. So doing some more in-person training could be helpful. Helena is currently the only person with the city that is going to all those meetings. So she has an entire city to manage for recycling education. So the idea would be that the Clean Pittsburgh Commission and some of our commission members could help with that by going into neighborhoods of focus, community meetings, speaking with community groups, and providing more of this education and resources to leaders within these neighborhoods for them to then disperse to their neighbors. That way folks can talk with their neighbors to learn more about it. They know who they're meeting with, and they'll get that in-person education instead of trying to just learn it through website and social media. So Helena, Anna, and Amaye and I will be meeting in the next couple weeks to kind of consolidate all of that information and put together talking points for going into these neighborhood groups. Once we have all that together, we won't be meeting in July and August, but we'll still be going through email so we can share that information with members of the commission, and maybe those of us who are interested and have connections with neighborhood groups, we can kind of pick out those neighborhoods or pick out those groups to then go meet with and share this information. Erin, kind of using you as an example with urban trails. I know in our meeting with them, I believe it was Paul specifically who said that when he's out doing litter pickup, he often is approached and people ask questions. So in situations like that, he can share that resource and he'll have a good understanding of what that is. So he can spread it around his community, sharing that with the Sheridan Community Council. They hold litter cleanup every April, like most neighborhoods in Pittsburgh during April. And they do a lot of phone calls to get folks to join. So they have a lot of that connections that just thinking of, again, just one person with Helena, or even thinking of Allegheny Cleanways trying to cover the entire city of Pittsburgh just wouldn't be as effective as giving this information to the neighborhoods directly, and then they can share it amongst themselves. So that's the idea with that. That will be in addition to what we've already been talking about over the past few months about resources in these areas, dump site and litter cleanups, and attending other community meetings if there is an interest, the camera program, all that stuff that is included on the flyer. So that will be like an additional resource that folks can reach out about. Speaking of the flyer, I totally dropped the ball and I have not addressed the points that were brought up in our last neighborhood of focus meeting a couple weeks ago. So I will continue to work on that and send it out to all the commission members just to get like the okay that we're all cool with what's on there before we start sharing it out, however we decide to share it out. Anyone have any questions about all of that? Or anything that you would like to add about the neighborhoods of focus?
No, I think, Alyssa, thank you so much for leading the way on this. I think it's been, like you said, really well received by the two groups that we've been able to connect with. And they are very eager to be supported by the Clean Pittsburgh Commission. So I guess I'm sharing that to say that, you know, if anybody else is interested in participating in those conversations outside of the CPC meetings, we welcome additional participation and support, because I think it'll take, you know, it's going to take all of us to help coordinate some of the things that we want to do to support those neighborhood groups. And you did not drop the ball. We're all busy. No worries. Get us the flyer when you can. So, but yeah, thank you for that, providing that summary to everybody.
Um, Before we move on from the neighborhood of focus, I wanted to ask, is there, even though we're taking the next few months off, how do those of us who meet for the neighborhoods of focus, do we want to schedule another meeting for next month, or do we want to take a break, work through email? What are thoughts on that for those of you who usually come?
I would be open to having another check-in meeting.
Cool.
But
Okay.
I don't want to be the
I think
only
it's a
one
good
who's
idea.
making us meet.
No, it sounds like Larson and Anna are also on board with that. Oh my gosh.
Since Sheridan is one of the neighborhoods of focus and I live here, is it possible that I can participate in that planning and those other meeting activities?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Um,
Crystal, I think you'll have a particularly good, be able to help us out, especially with your former role.
Yeah, I'm really good at like education and outreach and doing those kinds of presentations. So definitely consider tagging me, not just in Sheridan on the west side, but anywhere you need educational presentations.
You're hired.
yes, thank
I
you.
also love it.
Awesome. So we should be able to meet before our next neighborhood of focus meeting to kind of pull that education and resources together. So then we could bring it to the next NOF meeting and share that and then start kind of breaking out roles on who can do what education in which areas. Cool. Awesome. I will do what I typically do, which is put out a doodle poll after this meeting for our NOF. In our next neighborhood of focus meeting, too, I just want to say out loud so more than one person, more than me, is just thinking about this because otherwise I'll forget. If we want to set a regular day and time, so far I've just been following up with a doodle poll, and that kind of leaves you all at the mercy of my schedule. Um, so if we want to change that, let's talk about that in the next neighborhood of focus meeting. If we want to set something more specific, or if we want to continue to have kind of this flexibility, I'm good with either. Okay. So since we did that, Helena, do you want to do outreach committee stuff and then we'll jump back to Afton and Larson for financial committee?
Yeah. I can totally just mention what I've been up to. So everyone, Emily and Paul gave me their bios, which is awesome. And then Afton said she totally forgot, but she's getting on it. And then we're gonna hold off on Barb because she's not like official yet. And then Sanjeev seems to be dealing with a family emergency or something. So I'll put him on. I mean, I also know that he hasn't been to a lot of the Clean Pittsburgh, the CPC meetings as of late. So I was wondering if has anyone been able to get a hold of him? Because I'll put him up on the website just without a bio. I just was, worried about him. Um, you know. But besides that, I'll have everybody's information just waiting on Afton. I will check right
I sent
now.
mine in.
What was that? Oh, hi. Oh, you
sorry.
did. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm looking right now.
I sent it in.
I was gonna refresh my Google form right now to make sure just to see what. Oh, yeah, I got it. So there we go. So now we have everybody's information, except Sanjeev. I'm hoping he's doing okay. But I guess since Erin is the only one that hasn't been she's still up in the air, but I guess I'll
Erin
just
can be on there though.
but
Erin is
like she gave me all of her information. So I guess just for the fancy PDF of her information, I'll just say like I don't know, like what should I put for her then? Just because she's not like she doesn't have a term limit right now.
Pending?
yeah,
Pending,
let's
I
do
guess.
pending.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the highlight is that we got everyone's stuff that as much as I can. So I'm gonna finish the finalizations of making everybody look nice and neat on this Canva document and plopping everybody on the website. And slowly but surely, I'm gonna make sure that the website doesn't say that we're still closed for the pandemic, and and again, get that, in my multitude of tasks, doing that. But at least we have everybody's official 2025 bios. So huzzah. There you go.
Awesome.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
might be getting another one from Ben DeVore once we figure out his um approval onto the
Okay.
committee.
Oh,
And,
I don't think I have Ben's email. Is
probably not. He has not been included, and he was meant to get the meeting invite for today, and I don't think he did.
okay, then,
So that's
but
on
yeah,
us.
like you guys can, either you can send me his email. Is it PennDOT, right? Ben's?
Yeah, it'll be a PennDOT. He is from PennDOT. I can't think of
Okay.
his email off the top of my head, but
Okay,
I'll
but
touch.
yeah, like, yeah, you
Mhm.
can email to him. You know, what questions I'm asking and the headshot that I need and whatnot. So, please just, yeah. So then we'll have everybody accounted for and one step closer to getting our page back to normal. So there we go. But that's exciting news. I got a hold of everybody, so one way or another. So there you go.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Great. So, Afton, I know you just came on. Are you up for doing financial committee stuff?
I sure am. Let's
Um,
see. Let me share my screen. It's weird. I can't like do both at the same time, so I'm going to go off. And share. Okay, you can see the report.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So we met on Tuesday and we were able to finalize a number of some other outstanding numbers. We have a definitive quote for the cameras now, $2,243.88. We also have the Parks Conservancy so under the neighborhood of focus, we have the Parks Conservancy for $1,000, Allegheny Cleanways for dump site cleanups for 10 days worth of service. We have that finalist at $5,000. We're still pending on the 5,000 for supplies. So that would be to do sort of a litter library of supplies for the neighborhood of focus communities. So that's still pending at 5,000. And we have a request to be gold sponsors of Garbage Olympics for 5,000 as well. And that's not necessarily a set number. The things in black are the things that are set that we really need to actually do a vote. So if we were to do everything that we have currently in our budget, we're at $25,243.88. And that would also include the city council's Barb's ask for $2,000. Um, if we choose to do that, I think we said that we might put that on hold as well. So the things in purple are things that we don't necessarily need to vote on today, but the things in black are the things that we should vote on. So that's the cameras, the the Allegheny Cleanways, support for the neighborhood of focus, the Parks Conservancy, and those are like the main ones. We can or cannot vote on the supplies. That's up to the discretion of us to decide what we want to do. And same thing for the Garbage Olympics. We can hold off on that one too, depending on what you guys want to do today. But that's where we're at right now. So our total budget is $30,000. So if we were to again say yes to everything that's on our list, where a little bit under $5,000 would be left in our budget for the rest of the year. And that's where we are.
Cool. Um, yes, for definitely holding for Barb's, only
Mm-hmm.
because that $2,000 came from some emails back and forth, I think, when she was talking with Cleanway's education coordinator on the plan. So we don't have a
Mm-hmm.
specific amount. So once she's able to get a specific amount, um,
Mm-hmm.
then I would say it'd be a good idea to vote once we get that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
For the supplies, Anna, I don't know if you got that. I got pulled into some stuff yesterday, so I was not able to do much research on the buckets. Did you happen to get the grabber information for these supplies, the litter kits?
Yeah, I did request a quote yesterday. I have not heard back yet. But
Okay.
just for context, they're all around $20 for like the cheaper ends of the ones I was looking for,
My goodness.
around like 18 to $20. So,
Okay.
if we're doing 80, that'd be about 1600.
Um, okay.
But have not received an official quote for that yet.
Okay. I might see where, because we've gotten them a couple times with Cleanways. I'm gonna see if the place that we've been getting them has similar costs to what you're seeing. Maybe.
I looked at my old quote for grabbers we purchased for Garbage Olympics last year, and we did like get like a discount, whether that was for like bulk or like we have like a pro account with the vendor, and they were even with that they were around $16.
Okay.
And I actually with that vendor I did not find the same product, so I had to look elsewhere, but that's where we're at.
What vendors did you guys use?
For Garbage Olympics last year, I believe those were ordered through MSC. We've also used like Home Depot.
Oh,
Who do you guys use, Lissa?
hold on, let me double check. That's not who we use. Oh goodness.
We've used Gemplers. And the litter pickers that they have are indestructible. I shouldn't have said that, knock on wood. They're amazing. And they do bulk pricing. So if that's not where you go, Lissa, I'd be happy to reach out to them to see if they'd give to see what they could quote us as well.
Yeah, that is not, oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I type in litter grabbers in my email, and because I talk about them so much in email, I have a million emails that come up with the words litter grabbers in it. So it's going to take me a little time to figure it out, but it's none of the ones that y'all have mentioned yet. But
And
I'll,
the city has a sorry, the city has a contract with Granger too. I feel like they'd probably have litter grabbers and possibly buckets and might be willing to work with. Well, just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Okay.
I believe we used MSC last year just because like that's who the warehouse pointed me towards. But yeah, we do have a contract with both of them.
Okay. So with all that in mind, still trying to figure out getting like an actual quote for the grabbers and the buckets. Um, I would suggest we maybe do a vote over email over the next month or so. Once we actually get a quote and get the total, and then vote on that. Because the idea was to have 20 kits per neighborhood. So that'd be 80 grabbers and buckets total, 120 for each of the four neighborhoods. And then Helena also has these new magnets that have QR codes that bring folks to the city website to get even more information on trash and disposal with Pittsburgh. So we were going to potentially include those in there as well. So, Afton, what do you think? Does that make sense to then just hold off until we get all those prices before we vote?
Yeah, we can hold off. I'm guessing we're probably going to end up around the 2,000, 2,500 range, and that's sort of that's on the high end if we buy super duper fancy grabbers and super duper fancy like buckets.
Okay.
So that's only like accounting for about maybe half of what we have budgeted right now, potentially budgeted. So I mean, it's up to you guys. We can also just say, we're going to have $5,000 for this project. So I know that we had also discussed we might want to do more than just litter grabbers and buckets if there's some other supplies that the communities needed. I don't want to muck
Like, what
up.
about gloves or something?
Right. I don't want to muck up the situation, but we could also just
Yeah.
say we're gonna put a hold for 5,000 or a hold for $3,000 for this project, and give ourselves a deadline of close it out by October. Basically, we buy the grabbers, we buy we buy the buckets, we maybe even buy some gloves or whatever, and then we can see where we are in October, and then we can release those funds in October to some other things if we're pretty much done with this project at that point. We're running into the summertime, so like
Yeah, that's a good
we have
point.
to like make a decision and then come back and have to try to figure out and vote on it.
Yeah.
September. That's the only reason why.
That makes sense. And after we were talking on Tuesday about this education stuff, I was thinking maybe some educational materials could be put in there if that makes sense. For for gloves, what I wasn't thinking of doing that because when folks register for a volunteer event through the city, they get gloves and garbage bags.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea was to kind of supplement supplies that they can't already get other places.
No, that makes sense. So that maybe we just say we'll set it at 3,000, 5,000, whatever we want. We'll just set that price. So this is what's budgeted for this project, basically. And
Okay.
then we can spend towards, this. And like I said, in October or even September, we should be kind of like a better idea of what we if we need anything else or if we're sort of done with it, and then we can release the funds if we're done with it at that point. And vote
Okay.
to release those funds to put towards something else. That's
Cool.
just another way.
Yeah. I like that idea. I want to get some of this stuff like voted on as much as possible today. So I really like that idea. Okay. So then for voting today, it is the 5,000 for supplies, 5,000 for cleanways for dump site cleanups, 1,000 for the Parks Conservancy, and then I can't remember.
Can I just interrupt real quick? Afton, do you know that we are watching you sign up for Granger? Just in case you get to a password, I want you to know that this is being broadcast. Okay, there you go. That's fine. Okay, sorry. Go back with it.
No, thank you. I can't remember what the fourth thing was after Cleanways, the Parks Conservancy, supplies. Oh, cameras. So voting on all four of those today.
Do we want to vote on them individually or as a group? Does anybody need to?
We need to do it individually, I think, because
Okay.
I need to abstain and Aaron needs to abstain. And I don't know about Anna. I know this is your camera program, but it's with the city, so I don't know how the rules fall around with you voting for cameras. Do you need to abstain from that?
I'm honestly not sure. I can abstain just to be on the safe side.
Okay. Probably a good idea, just because we have enough, per our bylaws, we need 6 commission members. So we have, with the 3 of us abstaining for our respective funds, we still have enough members to vote.
So what about me for the clean waste vote?
That is a good point. You should also abstain. For anyone who doesn't know, Emily Embray is a board member for Allegheny Cleanways. So thank you, Emily. I completely spaced on that. You should definitely abstain from that. So
to help me out, can we slowly repeat
absolutely.
each thing and then call a motion and then reiterate who's abstaining so that I can make sure that I get it typed out?
Absolutely. So we will start with the top of the Excel sheet, which is the camera program. So that I think we put Afton, I'm so sorry. Can you pull up the Excel sheet one more time so we can get the exact number? Okay. So we will be voting for the 3 trail cameras for the city of Pittsburgh, requested by Anna Bagwell to do dump site monitoring. The total would be $2,243, and I think that's 88 cents. All in favor, please raise your hand.
You have to call for a motion to vote before we can vote.
I'm so sorry. I haven't done
That's
the
fine.
motion to vote yet.
You're good, you're good.
Can I get a motion to vote for
I
this?
motion to vote.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
I'll second.
Thank you. And all approve.
Aye.
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 All
So
abs oh, would you like,
call
do you
for
want
yeah,
to,
call for
okay.
abstain, and
Yeah.
I'm sorry, call for no's and
Yep.
then abstention.
All who know the vote. Sorry, now my words are all jumbled. Opposed, that's the word I was looking for. Any
Yes,
opposed? Thank you. And any abstentions?
I'm abstaining. That's Anna Bagwell.
thank you.
Okay. So that purchase for the trail cameras has been approved. Our next PRC, as we all know, is kind of grandfathered in from last year. So that will be the $5,000 for that. The next will be the Parks Conservancy, and that will be $1,000 for litter cleanups in the neighborhoods of focus. Can I get a motion to vote on this purchase for these funds?
All motion to purchase these
Thank
funds.
you. Can I get a second?
I'll
second.
second.
Oh, was that Anna?
Yeah.
Okay. And all in favor? Thank you. All opposed? And any abstaining?
Aaron Tobin abstaining.
Thank you. So those have been approved. Our next will be Allegheny Cleanways for about 10 days of dump site cleanups. That will be $5,000, and those will take place in the neighborhood of focus. Can I get a motion to approve those funds?
All motion to approve.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Who was the second? Sorry, the second was Beth.
All right, Aaron Tobin.
Thank you.
All approved? Thank you. All opposed?
Oh, sorry. I'm just trying to lower my hand, and for that last one, I didn't mean to. I approved the last one. I didn't realize my hand was up still. For the,
I gotcha. I
okay.
gotcha.
And all abstaining, that would be me, Alyssa Eberhardt, am abstaining, and Emily Embrick.
And Emily.
Okay. Great. That was awesome to do the vote. It's good to know that the votes for the funds happen the same way as all the other votes. I should have known that. I apologize. Debbie, thank you so much for guiding
Yeah.
that.
Do we need to? Oh no, the purple is not finalized. Okay. Good.
Oh,
No.
Just checking.
yeah.
Okay.
Wait, we weren't finalized, but I'm sorry, I did miss that. So I think we're gonna do what Afton had just said, which was to approve that for now. We'll make the purchases that are included in this, and then what is left over we can release for potential to move somewhere else once we get into September, October, since we're gonna be cutting it kind of close for when Afton needs everything in. So let's vote
So-
then for the $5,000 for supplies to go towards the neighborhoods of focus to address litter cleanup and trash. Can I get a motion to vote on these funds?
I'll motion to vote.
Thank you.
I'll
Can I
second
get
that
a second?
motion.
Thank you. All approved? Any opposed? And any abstaining? Okay, great. So that is $5,000 to go towards supplies. As we make those purchases and get the quotes, we'll keep everyone updated on how that shakes out. Okay, now I think that is all of the funding purchases. For the ones that we are still holding on for the request that Barb Warwick has put in, the request for Garbage Olympics, and then we've also got an additional potential request that has came in that we talked about on Tuesday. Those will either be addressed over email if we can confirm. I think those will most likely be the Barb Warwicks and the Garbage Olympics might happen over email, or it will happen when we get back together in September. So Afton, I know last year we had some like last minute decisions that had to be made for the funding. So when we come back in September, do we want to be ready to vote for the rest of the stuff so we still have October to use as a buffer if we need to?
Yes, absolutely. So I want to try to get everything as much as possible done and paid, honestly, September, October. Because when you get into November, then waiting for the November meeting, it gets kind of dicey. So
Mhm.
because they close, it's sort of a rush to close the books. So,
Makes
and I
sense.
think like when we did PE Resource Council, it kind of got caught up in that rush at the very end, which is why it ended up not like going through and being processed correctly. So.
That makes sense. So should we, if we should we all be giving you our invoices now so they can be ready for that? So it's not last minute, or do you want us to hold on to that until September
Oh
to
no,
send?
so we voted and approved on the budget. So,
Yeah.
like if you have invoices from like, from the Parks Conservancy because you bought the materials or from the supplies because, well, the supplies are a little bit different because I have to actually use the P
Yeah.
card to purchase them.
Mhm.
But yeah, but if like Allegheny Cleanways or whatever, does some stuff in July and they have an invoice for it, yes, please send it so I can get it processed. Don't
Okay.
hold it.
Okay. Cool. Great. Good to know. Awesome. Okay. Does anyone have any financial committee questions or anything about what we just voted on? Okay.
I actually have a quick question. So
Yeah.
since those cameras, it's listed as a P card purchase on there, often do I need to reach out to you about that? Or
So if you have an invoice for me or get the invoice, then you just need to send me the invoice so I can use the P card to purchase it.
like if I have a quote or an invoice?
So if you have a quote, I guess I can do, if you have a quote and it's a finalized quote, right?
Mhm.
I should
Mhm.
be able to reach out to the company so that I can get an actual invoice from them so that I can
Okay.
like make that purchase. I need a way to
Okay.
like make the purchase.
Gotcha. Thank you.
So if they have a link or something, if they have an invoice that's attached to a link and then they can send me that information so that I can like click
Mhm.
on the link and then buy them, and that's super easy too.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Great. That is everything that we have in our agenda. The next is just a reminder that we will be taking July and August off for these monthly CPC meetings. We will still be meeting with neighborhood of focus stuff and starting to carry out some of these neighborhood of focus activities. So keep an eye on your email box for that. Of course, none of it is mandatory, but the more the merrier with starting to do these things. Also, a reminder.
Alyssa?
Oh yeah,
We're gonna keep the finance meeting as well. So same
perfect.
thing. If you need to join for something, just join us. But we're gonna keep the same date and time that's regularly scheduled for the finance.
Perfect. Great. And again, everyone should have that invite. If you don't, just let Afton know. There was one more thing that I was going to can't remember. If it comes to me, I'll share it. Oh, uh reminder, now that we are starting to carry out the neighborhood of focus stuff, um, using Cleanways as an example, whenever we are hosting a dump site cleanup in the neighborhoods of focus that are supported by this funding, we will be shouting out and tagging the Clean Pittsburgh Commission, whether it's with the Clean Pittsburgh Commission logo in our social media post, all that kind of stuff. And that's what we are asking of everyone who is getting funding from this year, so we can kind of continue to share how the Clean Pittsburgh Commission is supporting our local partners and nonprofits and communities, and just getting the message out there that we are here and we are a resource for folks. Other than that, we can just go on to member organization updates. Does anyone have anything they'd like to share? Larson?
Yeah, so we are about to have our second neighborhood e-waste collection this weekend in the Hilltop area. We're going to be doing it at the Hilltop Alliance again, which I'm really excited about because they're amazing partners. We still have some registration slots, so hopefully those fill up. And then in August, we will be doing all of our planning for the Hill District Neighborhood E-Waste Collection. And the plan for that $5,000 that carried over was to split that to partially subsidize that collection and then also partially subsidize this year's Neighborhood of Focus collection, which we're planning to do in October, the West End. Aside from that, we have another household hazardous waste collection in July, and I think those are all of the updates from until we're back together. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Crystal, I see your hand up.
Thanks so much. I don't know if this is an update so much. I just wanted to give a big shout out to Allegheny Cleanways. The on water cleanup that you guys have been doing has had a notable impact, and we've heard from the community about it, especially the people who enjoy kayaking along the river. So thank you so much. I can see the difference. The people who are using the river for recreation can see the difference. You guys are doing an awesome job, and we're super proud. We, River Life, are super proud to have you as part of our upkeep team. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I will definitely share that with Ben and Britt. For anyone who doesn't know, Ben and Britt run our water program. They are the ones out there doing the cleaning. They're out every other week in River Life's loop. So if you see them, definitely give them a holler. Great. Anyone else? Okay. The only thing I have to share is actually a program that we have going on with PRC. It's called Eco Scouts. They did start last week and they are going on again this week. It's every other week for throughout August. They will be doing different, or we will be doing different environmental education classes that are being hosted in Homewood and McKeesport at the Homewood and McKeesport libraries. This week, I think they're talking about composting, urban composting. There will also be a class on litter and how to host litter cleanups, and another one will be on watershed and a couple other topics. If you go, you can register through Allegheny Cleanways website, and after attending and completing the class, you get a very cool Girl Scout badge, Girl Scout type of badge, which I don't know about anyone else, but our office is obsessed with collecting patches. We try to use them as much as possible because we all love them. So yes, everyone is welcome to join. And it looks like that is it. Thank you all for coming to this June meeting. Keep an eye on your inbox for some of our subcommittee stuff that will keep coming up. And everyone watching, definitely keep an eye on our organization's social medias to see the events that will be hosted with the support and funding from the Clean Pittsburgh Commission. Enjoy the next 2 months, and I'll see y'all in September.